welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are back in the Brock Bourbon Bar, and we are drinking some bourbon finished in tequila cask.
Yep. Kentucky straight bourbon finished in Reposado tequila barrels.
Reposado, but very close.
Reposado.
I'm sorry for all my Hispanic listeners out there.
No, it's all right. Do you know what the Reposado?
Reposado.
Reposado. I just butchered it, so it's all right. No.
Makes me feel better.
Reposado is the one that's is it less than a year, and then the añejo is over a year?
That is correct.
Gotcha.
So it's anything from 0 to kind of like 11 months and 30 days is considered that Reposado. Otherwise, you have the Blanco, just as like colorless, and that's just like right out with no barrel.
It's moonshine.
No.
Okay.
Totally different plant. Totally different plant. One's corn or rye or sugar or
One's agave and one's not. I understand that.
There we go. All right, fair enough. All right, so anyway, this is Next Century Spirits, and they sent us a mail call bag here. It's called Bear Fight Kentucky Reserve, and like I said, it is well, like Carl said, it's a straight bourbon finished in tequila barrels. So we're gonna try this bad boy, give our honest opinion on it, and kind of go from there. It looks like it is a Kentucky straight bourbon, so that means it's 4 years old at least, and it is 70-21-9 on the mash bill.
And it's a 90 proof.
90 proofer, that's right. So
Actually smells a little stronger than 90. At least
it did. So like I immediately, whenever I like kind of popped the cork on this thing and was kind of sniffing on it, and it did that, but it smelled sweet for what I would think of a tequila finished barrel would be.
It does have a sweet smell to it, maybe a little caramel.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit almost like pepper out of it. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. It's because it's...
No,
I get a little spice.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd put it on pepper immediately, but yeah, I get what you're coming from. I'm also getting like some like really, really strong vanilla scents off this.
Yes. Yeah, vanilla.
All right. I think I'm going to dive in on this bad boy, give her a little taste.
And this is a release date of June of 2024, so this is a relatively new release by Next Century.
Yep. They sent it. With all fairness, I think they sent it to me probably at the end of June, and I'm just now getting to this bad boy. So I apologize. I appreciate you sending us some stuff, but we were absolutely jam packed this summer. I'm not going to lie, between vacations and everything else, and we just really had a ton of interviews lined out. So, but we appreciate your patience. We're getting this one out though to you guys, and we're going to give you our honest assessment on this thing.
It does have an MSRP of $35, so
which $35 for 90 proof,
4 year plus, yeah.
I mean, it's in par with pretty much everybody else,
yeah,
if not a little bit under.
Well, actually,
cheaper.
I think it's more in par of kind of the big boys and not some of the more smaller distilleries.
Yeah. So with them being out of North Carolina and this being a Kentucky distillate, obviously it's sourced. I'm curious if this is Green River, is it Bardstown Bourbon Company, is it Jackson Purchase? Well, actually, it wouldn't be Jackson Purchase because it couldn't be 4 years old. But yeah, I mean, those are I guess it could have been Castle and Key too. There's 3 different ones that are your main source distiller in that area.
They all have the same mash bill?
Well, they all will make that 70-21-9 mash bill. It's not that they are known for those. I guess if we're talking about the 2 that are known for it would be either Bardstown or Green River.
That's what I was figuring. It might be. That's the mash bill sounded pretty close to Green River.
There's nothing on the bottle saying where it might hint to, but the bottle also is reminiscent of the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond bottle to me.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, it has a little
similar shape,
short neck, and then kind of a rounded out round bottle.
Yeah, but the bottom's actually rounded off on this one.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Most of them are just sort of flat-sided, straight to the ground.
So I get the pepper now. After my first nip, I get a little bit of that pepper. There's a tiny bit of baking spice, but really, I mean, I'd be honest with you. Like, I thought the tequila would come through a little bit more.
I'm getting a little, like, almost like an aftertaste of the tequila whenever I'm in there.
Maybe on the finish.
Yeah,
I'm getting more on the finish with him.
Cause, I mean, it's weird. It's kind of like almost like caramelly vanilla flavor. A tiny bit of pepper spice, and then it kind of goes into a little bit of a tequila aspect.
Yeah. And there's just a hint of that rye spice that's coming through on that mid palate.
There's a little bit of a burn at the back, just a
it's got a little bit of a hug for 90 proof especially. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's got decent color.
Yeah, it's a nice bronze color on that. Anyways, I mean, the bottle itself is very nice. The label has like a roaring bear on it, and it has like some like 3 claw marks coming out of it to where it'll kind of looks like it's tearing the label,
Yeah.
which I have to say is impressive.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That's the one thing I feel like over the last few years, I feel like more and more people have done a better job of creating good bottles, good labels, their design, But let's be honest, this is a marketing game just as much as it is anything else.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You want to make sure it stands out on the shelf because there's too many
100%.
times that many bottles out there right now, you can go down the bourbon aisle and you're just going to pass up a lot of stuff because it all looks relatively similar or the same.
Right. But yeah, I think that's the big thing for this pour though. It's there's not a whole lot there. It's still a little young. I'd like to see the whiskey age just a hair longer, and then I'd like to see it go a little longer in the tequila barrel. I think
that's a good combination, and it would be interesting if they would release maybe like a.
I want to see it at 100 proof.
Oh, that's what I was getting to. Is like if they would do like a special release of like a barrel proof version of this,
Right.
and see how well that turns out.
I like the vanilla.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the spice, but it just seems like it's so mellowed out. And it might be either what you said, Carl, it's 90 proof instead of 100, or it might be the age that we were talking about earlier.
Though the legs on this do stay on the glass actually fairly well.
Yeah, it does. But I will say tequila will typically have that tendency. I feel like tequila
The viscosity?
it's a lot more viscous than a lot of your other spirits, I think, in
So-
that capacity.
Would y'all like to know the tasting notes?
Sure, let's go for the tasting notes. What do they say the tasting notes are?
Vanilla,
Okay,
Caramel.
check.
toasted oak, peppery spice,
Yeah, there we go.
and a hint of tequila and smoke.
Yeah. I don't know that I get the smoke, but
The smoke's the only one we didn't say.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I think it's more of a beginner drink.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a gay. I'll be honest with you, I bet it holds up really well in a cocktail.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I wonder if it would be for tequila drinkers, if this might be a decent segue if they want to give a bourbon a try.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's not overpowering,
No.
from any aspect. And it still has a tequila, flavor that kind of permeates through.
Right. Yep. It's all in the finish, though. I feel like it's really not a whole lot in the
Little on the nose
front
and
to
then
mid.
finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy if somebody poured it for me. I don't drink it. Doesn't bother me.
In the honor of Tim Denby, you wouldn't kick it out of bed for eating cookies, I reckon, probably, right?
Nope. I would not kick it out of bed.
So,
But it may be more of my, not the first or second. It'd be more towards the evening, the later stages. When I just want something that's not overpowering.
yeah, I mean, just kind of to finish off the night, low proof,
Yeah.
that one you're getting ready to hit before you go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I've noticed as I'm just about to actually finish mine is that the tequila becomes a little bit more pronounced as you get more towards the end in that finish. It
Yep.
just kind of grows the more you sip on it.
Yep.
The pepper does too a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
100%. I was noticing the same thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to do one little quick test here. I'm pulling a Barbara.
Oh no, I forgot the droppers. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. My finger will do.
That's what she said.
I bet she did.
She's laughing. I wonder what that means.
Apparently he's better with his hand than other things.
Who? Nick?
Well, I wasn't talking about me.
I've got 2 kids.
So is Nick.
Oh, the nose really opens up with a drop or two. It turns way more tequila-y.
Well, I guess.
There you go. That's a nice little cork pop. See old Babs here with the highly scientific water dropper over here. The
there we
nose
go.
just opens up. It becomes way more tequila-y and peppery with a drop of water here.
I didn't pour much more on the second one. Oh yeah. I get what you're saying on that.
Now, that being said, almost the entire flavor goes away.
You're proofing it down too much at that
Yeah,
point.
it's almost proofed too much completely down. It just turns into almost like a neutral spirit.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the kind of like that vanilla-y caramel notes kind of really disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you should take it any lower. So this is not something you're going to want to drink on a rock or anything like that. You're probably, and I'm not too sure it's going to stand up in a cocktail.
I don't think
No, I think the
Unless you're
interesting.
doing like a tequila cocktail with it. Sorry, Nick.
Well, that's what I was kind of going is we could make a Kentucky sunrise
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can
instead
do
of a
that.
tequila sunrise.
Yeah.
Kentucky sunrise.
Yeah.
no, that's fair.
That probably wouldn't do too bad in that, but I don't know. All right, so we don't have anything to compare this against to pick a winner or a loser. So let's rate this bad boy. What, 1 out of 10? Is that what we've been doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
1 out of 10.
We don't have our harsh critic of Tim here.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a little hard on this only because I feel like it's going to sound hard, but I mean it in the nicest way because I think, honestly, if it was to maybe 5 years old before they added it to the tequila barrels.
You're saying there's potential.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with this. I think there's a lot of potential. But I think it needs to be just a hair older. So I'm going to rate this thing probably a 6.2, 6.3. But I'm only rating it that low because of, like I said, there's a ton of potential there. I think it's just too young at this point.
I'll go ahead and jump in there. I was actually thinking right around 6.25, 6.5.
Okay.
Somewhere in that ballpark. As I said, I think there's potential there. I think, as I think we mentioned, they recently were released. I mean, it's relatively within the past couple months. So I think there's potential there that down the road that can be something special.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree with a lot of that. I would give it about a 5.5 to 6, only because from what everybody's been saying, this is something that probably would do very well in a cocktail. As a straight up drink, it has its points. It doesn't have all of the notes that at least I like to find in a bourbon that I have straight up. But the caramel, the pepper, I didn't get as much of the tequila as anybody else did, but overall, I think 5.5, 6 is a good rating.
All right. Barbara, you good? No rating for you? All right, we're good then.
Well, how about Carl?
Carl,
Carl. I thought Carl already said something.
No,
My
I
bad,
didn't say
Carl.
shit.
Go ahead, my bad.
No,
Carl.
he gave it
I'm
to
going
me.
to say probably 6.25.
Okay, so we're me, you, and Nick are real close, and then
I mean,
Dane's
really,
a little low, but
we're about 6 on average.
yeah.
So one thing I thought about that kind of brought this back to you with being very peppery is it amazes me a lot of OGD 114. Just from the pepper standpoint,
Like the lower proof OG.
Yeah.
I could pick up what you're putting down there. I think it's a little hard with the amount of tequila that's kind of resonating to straight up put it with OGD. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I'm just because I mean OGD is one of those things.
Yeah,
if I want
pepper.
if I want some like the peppery, the white pepper, the black pepper,
Yep.
I will go grab that 114 because I just want that kind of flavor if
Right.
I'm looking for it, and I think this has that.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'll take this over Basil Hayden any day.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
This has way more
I think we'll
flavor.
take anything over Basil Hill.
Yeah. Well, there's actually several things. I'll
Fair enough.
take
fair
this
enough.
over.
Well, I think that's our episode of Bourbon Barrel Talk. If you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook, the Instagram, or the X. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you're getting our episodes every single Sunday when they drop around 6 a.m. This is Scott, Carl, the Brox, and Dan signing off. Peace.
Prost.
See ya.
Bye-bye.